All right, welcome to episode 55 of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. I'm Robert Lentini. We're going to be going over the November 25th episode of WWE RAW, the final RAW before Survivor Series, and another very solid show. Heading into Survivor Series, just the build to Survivor Series has been great. We had the shock of a lifetime that CM Punk's the fifth member of Roman Reigns' team at Survivor Series. We got some more developments tonight. And we got the show opened with something that I just don't understand, but it's got to be going somewhere. I have faith in this company that they're going somewhere with this. But we have a Gunther promo to kick off tonight's show. He's interviewed by Jackie Redmond in the ring, and she's just like, "What do you think about what Damian Priest has said about you and how you're no longer a proud champion, you're vulnerable, you're beatable?" And as Gunther's about to speak, Damian Priest comes down to the ring smiling like he's a bully, like he's just in Gunther's head, making fun of him. He doesn't let him speak. He keeps just poking fun. Like, oh, how are you going to feel, Gunther, if you're supposed to be this ring general if you lose the championship to a guy from the street? How's that going to make you feel? And Gunther didn't speak at all. He was just getting angrier by the moment. He turns his back, makes it seem like he's going to walk away, and then just decides to bash Damian Priest over the head twice with the microphone. And then Damian Priest battled back and took control and hit a razor's edge through the announce table and posed with the World Heavyweight Championship over Gunther, who's just laying on the floor. I understand they're trying to build Damian Priest up to make it believable that he can beat Gunther. It already was believable because if Finn Balor didn't interfere at SummerSlam and betray him, he would still be champion. Gunther did not win the title on his own. He had the assistance of Finn Balor at SummerSlam. So it's already there. We don't need to tear Gunther down this much, but they're obviously going in some kind of direction here where maybe they're going to turn Gunther babyface, a slow burn here. I have no idea, but I've never seen a more beatable champion. He looks just totally like a shell of himself on purpose. They're purposely doing this. So I'm just interested to see where this goes. I'm not all that I'm interested because it's Damian Priest versus Gunther, but the build to this makes it seem like Gunther's just walking in like he's going to get his ass kicked. He's not losing the title to Damian Priest at Survivor Series. I'll be shocked if that happens. It might. But the way they're building this, but I don't think they would. I think that just feels way too obvious, and I don't know why they would want to bury Gunther like that. But something's going to happen at Survivor Series. Gunther's going to snap, refine his confidence. I have no idea, but I'm not all that intrigued yet. I'm interested where it's going, but I'm just tired of seeing Gunther look like an idiot on Raw. The backstage argument, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Io Sky are talking. Naomi and Io Sky want Bayley on the women's war games, their women's war games team. Rhea Ripley shows up. She's all, cocky, basically acting like it's her team. And Belair's like, well, since it's Team Rhea Ripley, why don't you figure it out? Why don't you guys figure out who's the final member? I have to face Nia Jax to determine who gets the advantage tonight. And Rhea Ripley sarcastically wished her good luck. The stare down between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I can't believe this, that they've never had a singles match on the main roster. They've probably had some at live events, never on television. They've had some in NXT. But that's just a money feud. Whenever they want to do that, I'm in. There's so many feuds like that on WWE right now. It's just whenever they pull the trigger on that, I'm in. American Made versus LWO. This is the Creed brothers with Chad Gable and Ivy Nile ringside versus Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. The Creed brothers won. Some tomfoolery, Chad Gable's distraction, whatever. It wasn't a legitimate win. It didn't make them look strong. It made them just look like they need to do absolutely everything to get a win. And then they pose on the announce table. I can't stand American Made. I'm done with this faction unless they drastically change something. Chad Gable should be like Intercontinental Champion right now or something bigger than this. He was more popular, more over in Alpha Academy when he was berating them. If just to leave to be this faction, the leader of this faction, I mean, hopefully they have some long-ass term plans for this squad, but the Creed brothers have no aura, and Chad Gable and Ivy Nile are just standing there tonight. And Chad Gable, like I said, should be Intercontinental Champion. He could, on a transitional, World Heavyweight Champion someday for a month or two just to give him that run, sure. But he's, nowhere near any of that now. He's why isn't he in the ring with Bron Breakker more often? Why isn't he go to SmackDown and go after LA Knight? He's that guy to me. He's not leader of the faction, mouthpiece, tag team wrestler guy anymore. I don't understand. I wanted to see something better for Chad Gable. I'm just disappointed in how this American-made faction has turned out. They got a win tonight, but nobody will remember this match. Nobody's talking about this match. Nobody cares. So Sheamus battled Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship last week. It was on its way to be a great match, but Ludwig Kaiser interfered after Gunther talked down to him, said, hey, you got to be a man, make a name for yourself, stop speaking for me, break out on your own, essentially. So Ludwig Kaiser decided, hey, I'm going to ruin this Intercontinental Championship match, and he attacked Breakker and Sheamus last week. Tonight, Bron Breakker versus Ludwig Kaiser. Back and forth match. Breakker goes for a spear early. Kaiser gets out of the way, and Breakker launches himself right into the corner of the announce table. Looked brutal. Kaiser then takes control. Come back from a commercial break. Kaiser's outside the ring. I got WrestleMania 24 flashbacks. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but Sheamus is sprinting down the entrance ramp behind Kaiser to attack him. It just reminded me of Charles Robinson running down the WrestleMania ramp for what felt like an eternity, but it was just a majestic moment. But I had flashbacks watching that. And Sheamus just beat the shit out of Kaiser. It ended in a DQ. Then Bron Breakker's like, this is my match. What are you doing out here? They stop brawling. They brawl through the commercial break, security guards everywhere. They come back. Adam Pearce fired up, screaming, you guys want to fight? Fine. Triple threat match for the IC title at Survivor Series. And then later it was announced LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship at Survivor Series as well. So there was like a few months there where Triple H would have the mid-card titles the main event Raw or SmackDown and not be featured on premium live events. That's not going to be the case for Survivor Series. I'm happy to see that. What's not going to be on Survivor Series is Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. That's going to be on Saturday night's main event. So he's still keeping those short matches. Right now it's a 5-match card. The 2 War Games matches, Gunther versus Damian Priest, triple threat match for the IC title, and LA Knight versus Nakamura for the US title. So that sounds like a damn good card to me, and it does not need Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. It does not need match after match after match. I'm actually kind of getting used to it. I like the 5-match, 6-match, 7-match cards. Give each match 20 minutes. It works for me, and you don't have to go from match to match to match. You get a little video package in there. You can take a break, eat a bagel, eat a donut, eat a cookie, whatever snack of your choosing. But I'm excited for this IC title triple threat match. I think Bron Breakker should retain. I think Bron Breakker should have a long title reign as Intercontinental Champion, but I would love to see Sheamus win, as he's never won that title. That would be just a cool thing to see for him. I don't think the time is now to do it. And Ludwig Kaiser I would have no issue with him winning the title. So that's what I call a well-booked match. When I have no problem, no qualms with anybody winning that Survivor Series. That's just well done. And I'm really excited for it, because the workhorse title, they're going to put on a 20-minute match and beat the shit out of each other, and I'm here for it. I'm excited for this match. And LA Knight versus Nakamura should be fun, too. We got a huge segment announced for SmackDown this Friday. CM Punk and Roman Reigns will be in the ring for a promo, or it could be a vignette. I'm assuming it's in the ring, the way they worded it, but it was Sami Zayn talking to Kathy Kelly. The Usos were there, too. They're shocked that CM Punk decided to team with them. Sami Zayn's like, everybody that knows CM Punk has a complicated history with CM Punk. It's, how can we trust him, really? And then Jimmy Uso said, hey, the wise man said we can trust him. We can trust him. So we'll see. I cannot wait for Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Just a promo. That's going to be electric on SmackDown. Another match was announced for SmackDown, too. The advantage match in the War Games, which team gets to have their first member of their team come out of the pod first, so they can have that 2-on-1 advantage. It's going to be Jey Uso versus Jacob Fatu. That's a hell of a match on SmackDown. That's a main event of SmackDown right there. And you open the show with Roman Reigns and Punk, and you have that main event. I mean, that's epic. But yeah, something that wasn't epic was War Raiders versus Judgment Day. This title match is just whatever. The Finn Balor and JD McDonough's title reign has been just very subpar, to say the least. They've defended the titles twice or 3 times since winning them in May. It's crazy. And this match was, okay. The War Raiders, they're just coming back from injury. Not a lot of momentum behind them. Nobody really cared to see them win the titles. I would have liked to see it, to be honest, just to get the titles off of Balor and McDonough if they're never going to defend them. At least the War Raiders, you can have them defend the titles, once every 2 weeks. You should be doing that with Balor and McDonough anyways. But they didn't win. Carlito and Dominic Mysterio, despite Balor berating them earlier in the night and belittling them and just, since Dominic Mysterio, you didn't get the job done, Damian Priest is right on the doorstep of becoming World Heavyweight Champion again. And you and Carlito couldn't beat the War Raiders last week, just berating them. Despite all that, they still helped Balor and McDonough win. And then Balor slammed Ivar's neck on the top rope. He's coming back from a neck injury. And that was that. He won the match. That's how they retained the titles. They posed outside the ring. Balor, they're hinting at Balor just leaving the Judgment Day soon, in my opinion. He's just berating everyone. Either Dominic's leaving or Balor's leaving. Dominic, I think, needs the Judgment Day right now. Balor could go out and do his own thing, become the demon again, whatever. But yeah, I just feel like Balor's causing too much dissension in the group. And also R-Truth wanted to hang out with the Judgment Day again. Balor flipped out on him, and R-Truth said Thanksgiving is canceled. So that happened tonight as well. Now, this was my favorite part of the show right here. Not the match, not New Day versus Alpha Academy. That match sucked because it was supposed to suck. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston backstage before the match. Woods is like, these past 2 months have been terrible. I love you, brother. Let's just put all this behind us. Let's sweep it under the rug, fresh slate. We have a 10-year anniversary celebration next week on Raw. They finally announced that date. It's next week, December 2nd. The Raw after Survivor Series. They're celebrating New Day, 10 years as a faction. Wood said, let's put this all behind us and let's, celebrate 10 years together. And Kofi Kingston agreed, said he loved him too. They hugged it out. They go to the ring versus Otis and Akira Tozawa. Should be an easy victory. Even Wade Barrett on commentary said, if the New Day loses this match, they should just break up now. The experience level between the two teams is ridiculous. Wade Barrett on commentary is great. And they lost the match because Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, Kofi wanted to start the match. Woods said, I'm the QB, I call the plays. And it's like they're arguing about who starts the match. Woods says, all right, fine, I'll go to the ring apron. Kofi's like, all right, cool. That was weird, but all right, cool. Right as the bell rings, Xavier Woods tags himself in. Kofi Kingston never gets back in the match. The Alpha Academy just destroys Xavier Woods. Akira Tozawa hit the biggest senton I've ever seen in my life. He was like 180,000 feet in the air and landed on Woods for the pinfall victory. Now, after the match, this is what my favorite part of the show. Not going to go over everything they said. I'll just give you the gist of it. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are arguing from right at the ring after the bell into the ring, walking up the entrance ramp, and I loved how they filmed this. They follow them all the way backstage through gorilla position everywhere, and then they go to a secluded area where they can start hashing things out. And Woods was like, Kofi was like, what the hell was that out there? And Woods is like, I'm the QB, I call the plays. And Kofi Kingston said, there's a reason that me and Big E never let you run things. It's because you're too reckless. Woods said that Kofi Kingston was afraid to take a chance his entire career until he arrived, and he took credit for taking all those risks for Kofi, and then said, I'm the reason that you ever became the WWE champion. Kingston said, why the hell are you talking about titles? You've never won a singles title in WWE, and I've always had your back. I gave up my IC title against Jey Uso a couple months ago, and what did you do with it? You failed. You let the King of the Ring slip away, or I think he won the King of the Ring. He just said you pissed away the crown. Woods responded with, well, when you won the WWE Championship, you pissed it away on a silver platter in 6 seconds to Brock Lesnar. Oh, that brought flashbacks, and what a horrible memory that was. Brock Lesnar squashing Kofi Kingston in 2019 in 6 seconds. The end of Kofi Mania, just unceremoniously, just fuck it, Lesnar's back. We're going to Fox Network. We need Lesnar as champion. But this promo between Woods and Kingston, setting up their either breakup next week or Big E returning to announce he's cleared or whatever's going to happen, I can't wait because I've been waiting for the New Day to break up for 5 years. I've been that sick of even when they were throwing pancakes, I was like, all right, this is fun. And then after the 4,000th pancake thrown at Corey Graves, I'm like, all right, let's do something different. So I'm ready for something different with the New Day. And this promo here, This is one of the best promos I've ever seen of Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods is great as promo. So both have the potential to have, great singles runs coming out of this. Xavier Woods as the heel. And a rivalry between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, that could be a great little mid-card rivalry, and then springboard Woods to something else, or springboard Kofi Kingston to something else. Or Big E comes back and they reunite and he's back and everything's cool. That would be great too, because I missed the hell out of Big E. It's been 2 years, almost in March 2025 will be 3 years since he broke his neck. I mean, it would be shocking to me if he's just all of a sudden going to return to the ring. So I'm expecting some kind of massive betrayal. We'll see who's turning heel. It's all signs point to Xavier Woods being the one to attack Kofi Kingston next week, but we'll see. I can't wait. I thought this promo between Woods and Kingston was excellent. Another rivalry I did not expect to be enjoying this much on this show is the Wyatt Six versus the Final Testament, with the Miz getting involved, his weasel self getting involved in this. He's all flustered and just backstage. He's like, the Wyatt Six are here. My God, they're here. And he's like, Karrion Kross is like, well, did they see you? And Miz is like, no. He's like, okay, well, let's go after them. Let's attack them. And he tells Scarlett, I want you out of harm's way. You stay here. And the Miz, she's like, yeah, I should probably stay here too. And Karrion Kross the Authors of Pain dragged him along. But it was a huge mistake, because the second they leave, Scarlett's looking in the mirror, putting on lipstick or whatever, and all of a sudden you see Nikki Cross behind her. And, she attacks her. They come back later in the show, and I don't know, she's doing some kind of seance. I don't know what the fuck was going on there in that moment, but Karrion Kross grabs her, and Scarlett starts beating the shit out of Cross because she doesn't know what's going on. He says, it's me, what happened? It's like, who was it? And she said it was Nikki Cross. And then it's like there's always something to lose or whatever written on the mirror. So in lipstick. So that was an interesting segment. It's hokey, it's goofy, it's nonsensical, it's spiritual bullshit with the Wyatt Six. But for whatever reason, this interaction, I think it's mainly because Karrion Kross and The Miz, if I'm being honest. I just really enjoy Karrion Kross in this role. I think he's found his place in WWE. He can wrestle here and there. He's not an exceptionally entertaining wrestler in the ring, if I'm being honest. But if you can get a good storyline going, that shit doesn't matter. And so I think he's going to carve out a nice role for himself for a long time under Triple H. With the Vince McMahon experience with Karrion Kross was horrible. I think Triple H knows what to do with him, and he can float from either brand. He can go up and down from NXT. I'm just very impressed with Karrion Kross as the leader of the Final Testament. I think he's doing a great job. We also got the Women's Intercontinental Championship announced tonight. I think it was a taping. I don't know what the hell they did. They taped it before the show went on the air, and then the people found out because of dirt sheets and then released the video. I have no idea what the hell they did. But they taped it before Raw, because Raw opened up with Gunther, and then they showed this later on the show. It said earlier tonight. And it's Adam Pearce. He introduced the Women's Intercontinental Championship. There will be a tournament starting next week on Raw, much like how there's a tournament right now for the Women's United States Championship that's going to be the finals at Saturday night's main event on December 14th. Who knows when the finals of the Women's IC title are, but there's a lot of people that could win that title, these mid-card titles. Lyra Valkyria, Chelsea Green, Mia Yim. The list is endless. Candice LeRae, why not? Like, a lot of people that they could just put these titles on that aren't Lash Legend, anyone. Jade Cargill, if you want to give her a slow start as a single star when she returns, that would make sense. Bianca Belair, why not? They showed a graphic, we'll get to the main event next, that she's won the most matches in 2024 out of anyone. I did not know that. I wouldn't have thought that at all. But yeah, I'm excited about the women's IC title. It's needed. There's enough talent. It's crazy. It's just the women's division in AEW has an incredible amount of talent as well, and they have the TBS title and the AEW Women's Championship, and the TBS title feels like nothing. If they can get these women's mid-card titles to feel important, they could just make elevate so much more talent on the roster that would never have gotten a shot. That all of a sudden, maybe Kairi Sane. Why can't she be the women's Intercontinental Champion? She's never going to be the women's world champion, it doesn't seem like, on the main roster, so have her be the women's Intercontinental Champion. Give her a singles run sometime down the line when they want to break up Damage Control. There's just a lot of stuff they could do with this, and it's needed. They have the talent, and I'm excited for these both of these titles. The women's tag team titles are, I'm ready for new women's tag team champions. I don't think they need 2 men's tag titles, but the way they use the Judgment Day, but I'm all for 2 women's mid-card titles because I've always been a fan of the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship for the men's side. So main event was Nia Jax versus Bianca Belair, the advantage match. The winner will have the advantage. Their team will have the advantage of the War Games. They'll release a star from their pod, their shark cage first. I'll never figure out a good way to explain that. Just bear with me on that. But Belair and Jax had a great match in the main event. Belair is a freak athlete. She is unbelievable. She gorilla pressed. I mean, obviously Jax climbed up to the top rope and helped her greatly, but she held Jax up for a half a second before slamming her down. Jax, I have said this several times, continues to impress me since her return. I thought she was awful several years ago, to be honest, and she's been great. She's just been great. She's hit a great leg drop during this, but the finish to the match, Jax was in control. There was an exposed turnbuckle, and Bayley showed up. She hit her face on the exposed turnbuckle, and Belair then hit an awesome 450 splash to win. Belair looks at Bayley outside the ring. The commentator's like, it looks like they just found their 5th member. A little bit of trust built here between Bianca Belair and Bayley. Well, because, those two have been rivals for years. Belair wanted nothing to do with it earlier in the night, but tonight she sees at the end of the night that Bayley's going to help the squad. She's against Nia Jax. Why the hell not? This was a very good match. I'm just blown away by Bianca Belair actually being able to lift Nia Jax like that. It is very impressive, and I'm looking forward to the Women's War Games match too. We'll see who replaces Jade Cargill. There wasn't really any hints on that tonight. I think we're going to find out on Friday because Cargill was supposed to be in the triple threat match for the Women's United States Championship tournament. We'll see who replaces her. I'm hoping for like Charlotte Flair, maybe Asuka. We'll see. But overall, this was a damn good episode of Raw. The build to Survivor Series has been great, and I'm looking forward to the show. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the Dynamite review on Wednesday.